Welcome back, everyone, to BSG Lustrum. I'm here joined by TheMotherBrain86 for a quick interview. He'll be doing a run tomorrow of Solo
Yeah,
Jetman,
yeah.
and I'm really looking forward to that myself. But first of all, how are you doing? And are you excited for that run?
Well, first of all, yes, I'm doing great. Having a good old time. Did some de-rusting quite recently, and yeah, I'm looking forward to the run. It's going to be a lot of fun. Unfortunately, Solo Jetman is always a very stressful game to play. It's not like the most relaxing one to actually touch, mainly because of there's several reasons that I'll explain tomorrow in the run. And yeah, it was very, very surprising and very awesome that I got invited to the BSG marathon to play some Solo Jetman 80%. Very cool.
I mean, we're happy to have you, and especially with the history you've had at BSG, obviously. But do you remember which BSG was your first one and which games you played?
Well, I sort of sneak peeked a little bit because I didn't quite remember because I did do a lot of NES games. But I think it was the Smurfs, and it came with Elapex, Night Fox, and Jelly Dots. And I also did Codename Viper that day, or maybe the day after. And that was
Yeah.
BSE 13, 14, something like that.
I think it was 12.
Was it 12? Could be, but yeah, that was the first one. And
Yeah,
I mean, that was a very, very cool experience. It was at the old venue. Oh, I dropped something that's gonna. Oh, give me a second.
sure.
I want to. I don't know. Okay. But yeah, that was at the old venue in Utrecht still, and yeah, that was a lot of fun. That was very cool. I did play the Smurfs. I was a little nervous, a little, I had my good old Metro T-shirt on, to represent my name and everything, and met a lot of cool people. I don't think you were there though, but a lot of other people were
No,
there.
I came later.
Yeah, but Rasha, Sida, all the cool people, and yeah, that was a lot of fun. That was very cool.
Yeah,
And the first one, pretty okay. It was like 11 minutes or so. So yeah,
that's great. Yeah, I mean, I've always been enjoying your runs, at least, especially as well when I was just lurking. It was just
uh-huh.
refreshing to see those runs and whatnot.
Exactly.
Um, so you went to BSG in Utrecht, but how did you hear of BSG in the first place, and what prompted you to come?
Well, that's actually a pretty interesting story because back in like 5 or 6 years ago, when forums were still a thing, you had button bashers. I don't know if you remember that one. And button bashers, and also what's it, like Nintendo Classic Gaming. .nl was another forum that I was at, and we wanted to have like a good old venue to actually play some arcade games, hang out with each other, have a little chit chat, and actually meet up to the people that you actually talk to every day online on an online basis. And so we were like, hey, in Utrecht there's a pretty cool venue. Let's just check it out over there. And that was exactly where the BSG community was as well. So we hired that a little bit, and then I'm not sure who told me about this, but somebody told me like, hey man, there's also speedruns there, and I know you were also just about to start speedrunner because I just did like Codename Viper and also the Smurfs, hence why I submitted those first for BSG in the first place. And I was like, okay, that sounds pretty cool, man. I didn't even know there was a Dutch speedrunning event. At first, I thought it was only Mario Kart because that's what I remember seeing first, like some pretty
Yeah,
good Mario Kart players. And I was like, let's just sign up and see what happens. And what do you know? 2 runs got accepted, and I was like, okay, here we go, man. Let's play some games. So, yeah,
that's actually a really nice story to hear, and really surprising that you got through it on this this way, basically.
yeah.
And yeah, over the years since the first 2 runs, you've shown quite a few NES runs.
Yeah.
How many different NES games or runs do you think you have shown?
How many different ones?
Yeah,
Oof.
like game wise,
Yeah, yeah.
how many different games?
Like around, for NES at least, like around 10, 12-ish games, maybe
14.
14.
14 NES games. 14 different NES games,
Yeah, like
which is
Cliffhanger,
awesome.
Cliffhanger, Super Pitfall, Codename Viper, Smurfs, Solstice,
I got
Solo
the list here.
Jetman, YouTube Kinu Kinden, the Japanese samurai pizza cats.
Yeah, you had the King Kong game, Tailspin, Die Hard. You did
Oh,
the
right.
Transformers, Something. You've done Ninja Gaiden with Shuri Bear
That's
in
true.
a race.
Yeah, I did that. Yeah.
Yukai Club.
Yep.
So you've done quite a few of NES games.
Yeah, yeah.
All
Love me
right.
some NES.
um, Okay, so which of the speedruns that you've shown is your favorite and why?
The favorite, that's pretty hard
Yeah.
to say. I mean, obviously, the one that I've submitted the most, or at least one of the most, is Solar Jetman, the one that I will be running tomorrow as well, which is a very relaxing speedrun to practice. Like to practice, it's very relaxing. You can just play that all day and you're good to go. But on a marathon, it's very stressful. So that would not be my favorite. I think it would be like Codename Viper, maybe, or Solstice is also very fun to always show off because a lot of people like that game. I mean, yeah, there's a lot of black
Yeah.
screens because once you go to the next screen, it like blinks black, so it's like watching a new video, like a new movie trailer where it's like black constantly, so you don't know what's happening. But those two are probably my favorite ones to show off. Yeah, especially Codename Viper
Okay.
because not a lot of people know about that game, and it's an excellent game. It's just a super fun platformer.
Yeah, my guess would have been Solar Japan, but I can completely understand where you're coming from with how
Yeah,
stressful it can be.
yeah, the stress is too much
Yeah.
sometimes.
Um, so you have done 23 runs for us
Okay.
over the years, but there were two games that weren't NES. Do you remember those?
I do. That was
Oh,
Ultimate Doom for PC.
that's correct. Yeah.
That was great. And I also did a Scorpio-like race also on PC versus Jelly
Yeah.
Dots twice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. It's nice that you remember them.
Yeah, of
And
course. Dude. I
that's
mean,
not just NES, of course. Um, yeah. So, having attended quite a few of the BSG marathons, what has
mhm.
been your favorite or your fondest memory with us?
Yeah, that's always a little hard to say because like there is no favorite BSG monthly, in my opinion. Every BSG has its good moments, and every BSG has a lot of fun memories and good people you talk to. So it's really hard to pinpoint an actual favorite moment in all the times that I've been there. But I always do enjoy the annuals. Like it's always fun to actually get together and have a good time and just play some games. So I think the first annual that I went to, I don't even know which one it was my favorite. There were also I met RDV versus the World for the first time. I remember having a very good talk with him, just having a good old walk. So shout out to him because he's a very chill guy. And I also confused him with
It
Rico.
really is.
I confused him with Rico and RDV. So also my apologies for that again. But I mean, yeah, that was definitely the first one. Was probably my most favorite BSG in general when it comes to like a bigger one because it was obviously a whole week instead of just a weekend.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was a good one.
Yeah. Yeah. Annuals are always great fun because of what you say. Like you can just play games and chill a bit with everyone, and you just have a week to do it. It's not like rushed or anything.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
that makes it great for
yeah.
sure.
I really think that it's always like more of the background instead of just only seeing the runs that makes an event that great, in my opinion.
Yeah. All right. So now to focus a little bit on you.
Oh,
Like you have been working on completing the entire NES library, and the
I
end is in
am.
sight. Like you were recently at the final 200 games, if I'm correct.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So first of all, how is it actually going?
But that's going really well. I've been pushing it really hard lately. Uh, I think I've beaten was it like 200 something games in less than a year. So that's a lot of games, a lot of good games, a lot of bad games, a lot of frustration, but a lot of learning of like newer games, and that's going really well, man. Like when I was like, okay, we have to push this, we got to go fast, or at least
Yeah.
fast, just make it as fast as possible. Yeah, I just knocked games out of the window and above my expectations because I didn't expect it to go this well, and now
Yeah.
we're at game 540 already. So we're
Yeah.
75%
Exactly.
and a little bit done.
All right. Awesome. And out of the 540 games that you've played, like have there already been any games that you will want to return to later to learn the speedrun of? And why is it Athena?
Why is it Latino? Yeah, so good, man. Like the controls are so solid and everything, and it's great music. No, actually, I was recently playing Ultima 3 of all games,
Oh,
and now I know that Yogi the Monk also speedruns Ultima 3, and recently Lucha Jim, another speedrunner, did a trade-off with him to play Ultima 3, and he was learning Lord of the Rings for the SNES. And Ultima 3 is a very cool game. I actually kind of like the mechanics in it, and I've never really done a RPG speedrun. And Ultima 3 is only well, only in between quotes, like 30 to 40 minutes if you do the speed run. And there's some very cool sound cues, musical cues, and some interesting frame perfect inputs and everything. And it's a whole lot of a whole lot of stuff. And I was like, hey man, I'm just gonna learn that game once we're done with NES Quest, which will take a long time. Well, hopefully we'll finish it this year. That's the plan, at least.
Yeah.
I will learn some Ultima 3 because that looks like a very cool game. And other than
I mean,
that, no, nothing else.
okay. It sounds incredibly interesting for an RPG speedrun to have all these kinds of requirements.
Yeah,
So,
it's something else.
yeah. And yeah, of course, the question would be, will we be able to see them in the future BSG event?
Ultima
Like,
3, I mean, oof. I mean, it could be. It could be. It's just, I'll just have to do some research if it's actually possible to show something like that. I mean, I might do some Mega Man in the future, and that's cool because I picked that up
that's so great, yeah.
thanks
That's
to
true. I remember that.
yeah, thanks to NES Quest. I also picked that one up, but
Yeah.
Ultima 3, I'll have to see. I'll have to see how that goes, and if I actually am comfortable enough to actually get a run in, I might even submit that to BSG. Yes.
Awesome. I'm looking forward to it, but I'm not holding you
Oh,
to it. So,
okay, it's okay.
all right. And as a final question, like I remember that you have been dabbling a bit in the Genesis library before, and you're involved with events like the Mega 16, the race event where you have certain goals of 16 games and you race it during the day, basically.
Yeah.
So when I looked through your runs for BSG, it's kind of surprised me that you didn't showcase any Genesis games yet. And since
Well,
we're kind of lacking in Genesis games, like, is this
uh-huh.
something that we could possibly be looking forward to?
Well, there is a history of me of having malfunctional hardware every time I wanted to run Mamono Hunter Yoko for the Genesis. I think I submitted that game 3 times, and 3 times it didn't quite work out the way I wanted it to be. But luckily, we did have Mamono Hunter Yoko last year with a 3-way race versus JKL and B-Trim on ESA, or 2 years ago, actually, already. No, was it? Yeah, 2 years ago.
Yeah, 2019. I remember that one.
2019, yeah. So that was very fun. That's why I showed it off. But yeah, I mean, I would love to. I would love to get some Genesis games in there. I mean, obviously, in the future, I will, once I'm done with NES Quest, I will do Mega Drive Quest or also Genesis Quest. So there's going to be more of those games too. But yeah, I mean, I have submitted not too many Genesis games, and yeah, I'll just have to see. I mean, yeah, I also do some research usually for speedruns for Mega Drive games, and I kind of know what like good games would be to actually speedrun for, like what you said, Mega 16, that I actually am the founder of, or at least the one who thought of doing it and then just did it. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, yeah, Mamono Hunter Yoko is still on the list to submit. That's a great game, and the other one is Shadow of the Beast. I mean, if you get some Shadow of the Beast in there, that'll be awesome.
That's awesome as well.
Yeah.
Like, and worst comes to worst, like my Genesis doesn't know yet that you want to do it, so it can't break down on you.
Okay.
So I can always bring that one.
Plan. Right. Solve.
Yeah. All right. So thank you very much for joining us here for this interview as well. And already the best of luck tomorrow with Solar Jetman. I'm looking forward to it, and I'm hoping you'll be enjoying the rest of the event as well. And same with everyone here at chat. Get ready for some Super Mario Sunshine, because we're going right over there.
Thank you for having me.